Good evening. M.M Out here, and out there, and always here. Again, one more time. Now, we receive lots of responses from our show. Lots of people call in, they send emails, they normally that's answered and dealt with by Sylvester over there. Sylvester, come. What? Sylvester's camera shy. He says he doesn't want to be a celebrity. But he deals with that sort of thing. But in his wisdom, he's come up with a great idea, whereas I normally answer everyone personally, as you well know. But he's come up with the idea that every now and then we should actually, go through some for the audience. We've received a tremendous response from our last couple of programs about Dennis Kelman. And some people have sent in some comments, so I'll read a few. This is Yvette from London. She says, I have been to Moontown 10 years ago, to be precise, and I met Mr. Kelman. He was the cashier that night. Since then, I have fully realized what community tourism is all about. Well, yes, Yvette. Community tourism is something that Mr. Kelman has all advocated for a long time. And he's actually the architect behind it. And Moontown is a perfect example of community tourism. This is Gail from Silver Sands. I used to look forward to the debates live on the radio, but I don't listen to them anymore because Dennis is not there. I miss him. I hope he runs again. Well, we can't do anything about that because he's not there. But he'll run again. That's my belief. This is Mr. Yearwood from Pike Corner, right? Mr. Yearwood recalls that one time they had a hurricane and it blew the roof off his house. The next morning early, I looked outside and saw Mr. Kelman standing in the wind and rain inspecting my house, and in no time it was fixed and everyone else who was affected. And then vagabonds in Pike Corner turn around and vote against him. They're not even ashamed. Listen, Mr. Yearwood, a very staid comment. I concur with him actually. This is Dave from Australia. Could you clear this up for me, mate? If there were two members elected on one side and the lead guy gives up his post, how come Mr. Kelman did not become opposition leader? I find that strange. I'll answer that. Because of the vindictiveness of the leader at that time, David Thompson, and in collusion with other party members who clearly saw Mr. Kelman's star rising and who felt that this poor humble boy from St. Lucie who went to Colson Prairie Secondary School should not be the leader. As a result, they changed their own constitution so that a man not elected by the masses but appointed as a senator could become leader. Idiots, all of them. Why I call them jackasses? I call them jackasses because the man they appointed to be their leader is now the chief economic advisor to the current prime minister. You see why they were jackasses? But of course, they were wise enough as well to know that if Mr. Kelman became leader, he would never relinquish that post. Sandra from Spikestown. Is Mr. Kelman a religious man? Yeah, he's an Anglican. Mike, HC, what is it? Mike from Harrison College. I know you went to school with him, and I was in your era. You might know because I played cricket against you a couple of times. But did he play any sports? Kelman was always a trier. I remember him on the cross-country squad, competing in races at the Garrison and at Blenheim. He never placed anyhow, but he always finished. Which is a credit to the maroon and white, which is what we wore that time. Because lots of competitors dropped out. What is Mr. Kelman's forte besides politics? Mr. Kelman is an accountant, and he worked in the sugar industry previously. drop. This is Mike from Josie Hill. When a former Prime Minister described the Parliament as raky scrapey, as far as debates were concerned, I was present at a gathering about 2 days after, and he made it abundantly clear that Dennis Kelman was an exception. I think that's an accolade. I concur with you, and I echo that compliment. This is Brenda from Essex. You mentioned in one of your previous shows that Mr. Kelman represented his riding from 1994 to 2018. How many times did he win them? Mr. Kelman won in 1994, 1999, 2003, 2008, 2013. He belongs to an elite group of parliamentarians to have won his seat 5 consecutive occasions. This is Shaka from Kingston. What is Mr. Kelman doing these days? Mr. Kelman is the proprietor of an establishment sports bar called Moontown and a supermarket in the parts of St. Lucie. I wish that anytime that you visit Barbados to find yourself there, and it's an experience you will cherish. It's the perfect example of community tourism. Now, those were some of the questions and comments, that came to this production team, and there were some that were a bit too personal that I couldn't answer, so we had to leave that out. But I'm quite sure you could check with Mr. Kelman himself. He might probably answer him. You can probably check him. You go to Moontown any day after 6 o'clock, and where, by the way, the cuisine is authentic, and you get bank spirits like 5 for 10, things like that. And you can reach him there. I'm quite sure he'll have an audience with you. And those of you who've been wondering, you don't want to talk to my production team, you can actually talk to me personally. 246-264-9950, 246-264-9950, or 246-244-4956. Any of those, talk to me personally. If there's anything you want exposed or said about your business, or you have any personal problems or any legal problems, anything, M.M Out There will be your champion. And that's it for now. M.M over and out. You don't want to be a celebrity.